All right, so 10.7 was the last section that we're covering in this chapter. This is where we talked about the standard form of an equation of a circle, which was x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared, where the hk is your center and the r is your radius. So number 1 says write the standard equation of a circle with a center at 0, 0 and a radius of 2.5. So I would do x minus 0, but it's just x squared, and y minus 0, but it's just y squared, equals 2.5 squared, which is what? 6.25. Good. Holy moly. 2, write the standard form of an equation with a center, negative 3, 5, and radius 2. So when we plug in, we change the signs because it would be minus a negative 3. So this would be x plus 3 squared plus y minus 5 squared equals 2 squared, or 4. Questions on that one? Okay, third question says find the center and the radius of the circle, then graph the circle. So now we're going the opposite direction. When we take the center out, we also change the sign. So the center would be what here? Good. Negative 1, 3. And your radius would be 3 because it's a square root of 9. So when I want to graph it, I would start at negative 1, 3, and then I'd go up 1, 2, 3 to the right, 1, 2, 3, down 1, 2, 3, and left 1, 2, 3. And then connect them as best you can. Obviously, if you've been using the circle feature on Notability, they'll look better than that, but on the test they won't. All right, and then last one says the point 3, 0 is on the circle with a center of 0, 2. Write the standard equation of the circle. So the point would be my x and my y. The center would be my h and my k. I don't know the radius this time, so I'm going to plug in. So x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals the radius squared. 3 squared plus negative 2 squared. 9 plus 4. And the r squared is 13. If it had asked for r, it would be what? The square root of 13, right? But since it's just asking for the equation, I do x minus the h, which is 0, squared, plus y minus the k, which is 2 squared, equals r squared, which is 13. And then we don't need the minus the 0, so it would be x squared plus y minus 2 squared equals 13. Questions? Yeah.
Would you mark it wrong if you put
Probably not.
0?
Nope. The question was, would I mark it wrong if the 0 was still there? No. It wouldn't be, like if it was a multiple choice, it wouldn't be there. But this question's, they're not multiple choice, so. Okay, so now. Is what it intercepts. So angle 1 intercepts this arc. It would be 1/2 that measure. Angle 2 intercepts this arc. It would be 1/2 that measure. And what would be true about angle 1 and angle 2 combined?
Equal 1, 360.
The angles would be 180. Good. The arcs would be 360. Yeah. Here. This is angle 1. Yeah. So again, this was 10.5 so far. The angle is formed by 2 chords, which was that floating angle. Add the 2 arcs, divide by 2. The angle formed by the chord and the tangent, take the arc and cut it in half. Questions so far? Okay, then came the exterior angles, and there was 3 different cases with the same formula. 2 tangents, 2 secants, or a tangent and a secant. And in all of these cases, it is big arc minus little arc divided by 2. So if it's 2 tangents, let's say A, B, C, and this would be your angle 1. Angle 1 would equal arc ABC minus arc AC divided by 2. So big arc minus little arc divided by 2. Then there was 2 secants. So 2 lines that are going to intersect the circle, run through the circle and intersect it twice. Still big minus little divided by 2. So angle 1 would be arc AB minus arc CD divided by 2. And the last exterior or external angle is the tangent and the secant. It would still be big arc so ABC minus CD divided by 2. So 3 different ways to draw it, but all 3 have the same formula. Big minus little divided by 2. Questions on those? All right, then came all the segments, and this was 10-6. 3 different theorems using segments. The first was 2 chords. So much like the floating angle was formed, except we're talking about length. So A, B, X, Y. A times B would equal X times Y. We would multiply the product of the segments together. Then came 2 secants. And this is whole times external equals whole times external. So in this case, it'd be A plus B times B equals X plus Y times Y. And then the last theorem dealing with the segments was a tangent and a secant. So we had to the secant and the tangent. And this is whole times external equals tangent squared. So B times A plus B would equal X squared. There's a good chance you're factoring a couple of times on this, so you want to make sure that you're still reviewing that skill and you're practicing that. Obviously, if any of these are squareds and they don't cancel out, then you'll need a factor. Yeah. And then the last thing that's on the very bottom is what we just finished yesterday. 10.7 is the standard equation of the circle. So this is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals the radius squared, where hk is your center. and r equals the radius. And you want to know how to do all the things that were in the warm-up. So here's the information, give me the equation, or here's the equation, give me the information and graph. To be honest, this is like one of the smallest amount of information you've had on a test, so the actual theorems and stuff is not that bad. But you have to be able to apply it, okay? There's no question that just says, what is this theorem? All of them are application. Questions on any of that before I move on? You need, all right, so what's posted on Canvas, that hopefully you started, if not, you've got your work cut out for you tonight, is this review. So it goes 10.5 at the start. Obviously, this is just like the concept. And then the practice with 10.5, which is all those angles. Then 10.6, this is those this is all the chords and secant segment, tangent segment, all that stuff. Where'd it go? This guy. And then 10.7. If you have not already done this, you need to complete this. But I'm also going to go in and add a couple of additional practice problems that I think that would be beneficial for you to do. You literally, it's 2 o'clock, almost. You have 20 minutes that if you haven't started this, you need to be working on this. And then I'm going to post right now a couple of extra, like I want to streamline. There's a big extra review, but you don't need to do the whole thing. I'm going to cut out some stuff. I'm going to post that. That would be your secondary review, okay? Questions for me before I give you time to work. This is not a time to move seats or chat. We are working. You may use your calculator. Just be aware that there are going to be questions that say keep your answers exact. So if it's a square root, you need to make sure you keep it exact. There are going to be questions that say round to the nearest tenth. Obviously, those you can use your calculator. But you may use it on the entire test. It has to be the one you are approved to use. But yes. Yeah, so if you want to use it for the review, feel free. But like on something like if it was a radius and it's a square root, you will keep it exact. There's really only, I think there's one question on the whole test that says round to the nearest what at 10th. Everything else should be exact.